It's chemical reaction day. This is like the best day. I know y'all have been waiting to learn about chemical reactions. So let's review your notes together. Here's your notes page, and it's all about physical and chemical changes. Yesterday, y'all saw Marshmallow Man. Poor, tragic Marshmallow Man. He had a rough day yesterday, had it a bit tough, and you learned about physical versus chemical changes. Let's look at physical changes first. Physical changes are things that change the size, the shape, the state of matter, or the color if it's expected, but they don't make a new substance. We still have the same thing we started with. It might look different. For example, Marshmallow Man, when he got hammered, poor guy, he sure looked different. It was not as fluffy and full as before, but it was still a marshmallow. We didn't get anything new. So physical changes, let's look at a piece of paper. So I can change this paper physically. I can change its shape. I can fold it. I can crumple it. I can't write on it the same now. I can't use it the same, but it's nothing new. It's made. It's still paper. I can tear my paper in half. It's still paper. It's not going to magically go back together, but it's still paper. I didn't get anything new. So with physical changes, we still have the same substance. Something y'all sometimes get confused on is like when ice melts. So ice melts and we go from ice to water, but the makeup, H2O, is still the same. You can freeze that water back and get ice. We can boil water and it can evaporate, but that gas is still H2O. So it can change states of matter. It can go from a solid to a liquid, or from a liquid to a gas, and be a physical change because we didn't make anything new. Now let's talk about chemical changes, my favorite. So for chemical changes, we're always getting something new. A new substance is created one way or another. That's why it's a chemical change. We have a mnemonic, a memory trick for y'all for chemical changes. There are 6 signs of chemical changes that we want you to know. So you are going to remember city girls obviously love their phones. Easy. City girls obviously love their phones. One thing that's really important is that you have to remember that when we are talking about this evidence, we are talking about unexpected changes. So city stands for color change, but it has to be an unexpected color change. If I put food coloring into water, that's not unexpected. I know the water is going to change color. If I make Kool-Aid, I'm just mixing powder and water. I'm not making anything new. It's still Kool-Aid powder and it's still water. It's just stirred together. Those are unexpected. Now, if I take 2 clear chemicals and I magically, I mix them together and I magically get a bright color or a brand new color, that's unexpected. For girls, G, that stands for gas produced. When you think of gas produced, you're thinking of bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. Like Finding Nemo, bubbles, 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 bubbles. So gas produced is when we get something that's bubbling. Obviously stands for odor change. That one can be a little bit stinky. Love stands for light produced. Today you're going to see a really great example of this. There stands for temperature change, and this one has to be unexpected. If I put water to boil on the stove, is the temperature going to change? Yes, we know that. We added the heat. Well, I did. I put the water on the stove. I turned the stove on. It's going to get hot. This needs to be when you mix 2 things and the temperature changes on its own. You can't add the heat, or you can't put it in the freezer to cool it down. It has to get cooler or get hotter on its own. And foams, the last one, stands for precipitate. So that's a big word. You'll probably have not heard that one before. Precipitate. And no, I'm not talking about rain. I'm not talking about rain and snow. Precipitate is when you take, I think this one's really cool. You take 2 liquids and you combine them and they turn into, or they create a solid. The whole thing doesn't become solid, but you'll get some sort of solid substance. So combining two liquids and getting a solid substance is called a precipitate. All of these are creating something new. So can I chemically change this paper? I can. If I want to chemically change this paper, I could burn it. Okay, so one, I can smell it. We got some odor change. I can smell the change. Two, I have a new substance. You can see the ash falling. So ash is my new substance. Okay, on this side, you are going to sort these. So on this side of your notes, you're just sorting these things.